Hey, how's it going, everyone? Hey, it's Justin over here with the Rookie Per Home team at eXp Realty. Today's video, I'm going to be breaking down and going over the Jacksonville Beaches and Jacksonville Southside Market Update Report for September of 2022. So we've seen a lot of changes this year. We've seen changes with interest rates. We've seen changes with buyers and sellers, supply and demand. And we've seen changes with how long houses have been staying on the market and what prices they're going for. So definitely stay tuned, because when I come back, I'm going to go over to more detail as far as what those changes mean for you and what we're actively seeing. All right, and we're back. As I mentioned, we're going to go over the Beaches and Southside Market Update Report for September of 2022. Before we get into it, though, definitely like and subscribe to our channel, and please ring the bell so you get notified when we post content like this in the future. So as I was mentioning, there has been quite a few changes here in September for the market update, and we're still seeing them as we go into October. So definitely look forward to that next video as well. But to start off, right now we're sitting at about a 30.8% pending ratio. So all that means is that's the amount of homes that are under contract in relation to the amount of homes that are on the market. And how that works out is we have about 221 homes pending with about 497 homes still for sale. So this is actually less than it's been the last couple of months. It's still a very healthy ratio, but we are seeing that go down some. As that continues to go down, which we do believe we will see some fluctuation with that until December, because December does tend to see a little bit of an uptick in pendings. So maybe November for that. But all that does mean is it still is a very healthy market. Buyers are going on homes less and less as far as putting offers in, but homes are still getting offers. We also, as we look at a closer look, the most homes that are under contract are actually around that $400,000 to $600,000 price range, which is a continuation of what we've seen the last couple of months. We've also seen that the homes around $200,000 to $400,000 are still pretty much the largest homes for sale, with actually 143 listings. This is actually a little bit of a change. So the last couple of months, homes between $400,000 and $600,000 were the ones that tended to have the most homes for sale. Now we're starting to see homes between $200,000 and $400,000. So these are your condos, your townhouses, some of your smaller single family homes. Some of these homes may need a little bit of work. And so a lot of buyers right now, with the fact that rates are going up, aren't necessarily wanting to find those fixer uppers per se. They're looking for something a little more ready to go, is what that kind of tells us. What we're also seeing is the median price point for this area, that for homes that are under contract, has been $530,000. This is a huge uptake from last month, which was actually, I believe, in the high fours. So as we continually looking at this, you will see this first graph. If you've watched my previous videos, you have a basic idea of what this graph is. But if you haven't, in essence, this graph is to show you how many homes are actually for sale, and in relation, how many homes are under contract. So as you can see, in that $200,000 to $400,000 and even $600,000 price point, there is a huge gap between how many homes are actually for sale in relation to how many are already under contract. What this tells us is there are some options out there for you as a buyer, there are some options out there to where there may not be a brand new listing, but you may have the ability to now negotiate a little bit more for the homes. And for sellers, again, still doesn't mean you won't get an offer. It just means you may have to lower the price down some, adjust it to get that offer, or you may have to be willing to maybe offer up some concessions to allow a buyer to buy down their rate. So I'll go over more of that buy down later, but that's a very popular phrase that's been used quite a bit by lenders in the last month or two because of the rates going up to the 7% threshold that we're seeing. As we continue to move forward, we do see here that the number of homes that have sold versus the off market, there are quite a bit of homes that have been selling off market, especially in that $200,000 to $400,000 to $600,000 price points. They still don't, the amount of solds on the market still outpace that. All this does go to show is it is important with who you work with. Sometimes you may think you can do it on your own, and not saying you can't, but sometimes it's nice to allow someone who does this every day to kind of take control of it and help you navigate you through the process. Because again, there's only so many hours in the day. Why would you want to spend your time doing something that you're not familiar with when you could hire someone who can spend that time for you and get you ideally the best price possible and the best offer possible? Because again, the highest offer may not always be the best offer. So overall, just to go through the little blurb over here, there were a total of 1,273 contracts that closed in the last 6 months. So that's still actually a pretty good clip in regards to how it's been the last couple of months from my last couple of videos, with the median sold price about 450. Again, we're not seeing too much of a difference there. Obviously, homes in the $200,000 to $400,000 price point have been the highest amount of homes to sell. And a lot of reason for this is, again, the beaches and the south side area, very popular areas of Jacksonville. If you can get in at a lower price, a lot of people do, especially as a starter home, in the hopes that they can build up to those $400,000 to $600,000, $700,000, $800,000 homes down the road. We also did see a total of 273 homes that failed to sell. This is actually an uptick from last month. We believe that this will continue to rise in the next couple months because we do have some sellers out there who may not have sold because, again, it could have been because of price. It could have been because they hired their own professional. Could have been they were just testing the market to see what they could get out there. There's a lot of different reasons. Even poor condition could be used or second thoughts. So overall, it's not necessarily a bad thing if the home didn't sell, but we do see that as an uptick as we move forward throughout the rest of this year. As we continue to move down, you'll notice this chart here, median days on market, you actually will notice that the median days on market have increased, in the last month in relation to previous months. Again, homes are sitting longer. Some of the homes that are selling may not have a high days on market because sometimes the best ones will sell quickly, but a lot of them are kind of sitting in the market. As we look forward more towards it, you will see the last 30 days, the median sold price was 432 and the days on market was 29 days. 29 is a huge difference. To give it some perspective and add some context to it, last month we were around 14 to 15 days for days on market for August. So about double. That's a big difference. Definitely keep that in mind if you're a buyer or seller in today's market here in Jacksonville, because that's good to know whether if you're on either side of it. Overall, we do see that the days on market is greater than the median days on market for the last 6 months. A lot of the reason for that is because 6 months ago we were in April. April was still a very hot time of the year for this market that we have transitioned away from. And so we were still in that market where, for lack of better terms, you could put a sign in the yard and you get your home sold. And you had multiple offers. It's no longer the case. Things have changed. And so how's that correlate to price? What we did see, though, is the median listed sales ratio for this area is still 100.1%. What that means is you put the house out there for $100,000, you're getting about 100,000. We haven't seen a huge drop yet in the homes that have sold in regards to what they're listed for versus what they sold for. Now, this does not take into account the homes that haven't sold. So those, as the data starts to update itself in future months, will definitely give us a better barometer as far as where we stand on that. So definitely keep that in mind. Now, the analysis of the absorption rate does indicate inventories at 2.3 months of inventory for the last 6 months. That is a much higher uptick. We were at, I believe, 2.1 last month. Don't quote me on that. The video will tell you 2.1, 2.2. So 2.3 is an increase. We do see that as continuing to increase as we move forward the rest of this year. Again, we're still in a very hyper sellers market as far as that's concerned. Now, most sellers are having to negotiate a little bit more, but to put some perspective on it, 6 months is that equilibrium where it turns from being a seller's market to a buyer's market. So to be still under 3 months, it's still very much a seller's market. It's just not that hyper seller's market that we had seen earlier this year. Lastly, these last couple of graphs kind of highlight some of those items. So as you can see here, the median sold price did actually dip in October. We got as high as in May at $480,000. The median sold price, however, for October dipped down to $430, $440. So don't be alarmed with this if you're a seller watching this video. It's one of those things that a lot of it also depends on what homes are hitting the market at what times. There is definitely something to be said that prices have come down some, and that's a very valid point across the board. Does not mean that all prices have come down. I like to joke that if the house is priced well and the condition is immaculate, it's still going to sell right away, still may get multiple offers. It's just the majority of homes don't fall underneath that box anymore. And so those are seeing some price reductions and those are seeing some lower prices because sellers who are in the market right now are a little bit more motivated to sell, and therefore they are coming out at a little bit more, not reasonable, but just a little bit more, a little bit lower price just to kind of get that buyer demand up a little bit, whereas they didn't have to do that earlier this year. The median days on market, as you can see here, September's data actually does show you. Now, October, you'll see here is kind of around the same pace. That's through a couple of days. That'll actually probably be much different when I shoot the next video, the next YouTube video next month. So definitely keep it on that for the next video. But as you can see here, like I said, August, July, June, May, we were hovering on that 15 days or so on the market. All of a sudden, boom, we're now double. That's a big difference. So again, keep that in mind as if you're a seller looking to put your home on the market, because it means that you just need to anticipate that you may have to sit a little bit longer And if you're a buyer, it just means that there's going to be more options, because as things sit longer, more stuff will hit the market, and now you'll have more to choose from. Moving on to the last page here, what I want to kind of discuss is kind of basically an overview of everything we have discussed. So as you can see here, we had 497 actives at the end of September. 221 were pending, 221 outside those actives. We had 273 off-market homes in the last 6 months, and we had 1,273 sold in the last 6 months. Over here, I always like to start with these nice, beautiful red. You got some greens in there now, some blues, some oranges, boxes over here. So what these boxes are, and there's actually a little key down here if you need to kind of get an idea of what they really mean. But what these boxes are is these boxes are to show you for each price range where the estimated months of inventory is. So obviously for the area, in general, we're at 2.3 months of inventory. But for instance, we're as low as 1.3 months if you're in the $0 to $200,000 price point, or if you're in the $2 to $2.2 million price point. We're as high as 9 months if you're looking to buy someone that 1.4 to 1.6, or looking to sell in that price range. So definitely keep in mind that overall, it is starting to transition. It is starting to go away from being that hyper seller's market to more of a moderate seller's market. However, it's still a seller's market, especially if you're under 1.4 million. As you go over 1.4 million, it does kind of vary depending on the situation. Definitely want to go over that. Obviously, if you want more information, if you want to kind of get more of a deeper dive in what a lot of these other numbers mean, definitely at the bottom of this video in the description will be a link to my Calendly. Schedule time with me. Would love to go over it with you. Otherwise, would hate to kind of bore other people on this video with all these numbers. But all in all, it is to kind of show that we are starting to see a transition. Sellers are starting to kind of come down their prices. Sellers are starting to kind of get creative. One thing that a lot of lenders are doing right now is they're actually doing rate buy downs. It's a very interesting term that's been used the last month or so. But a lot of lenders are going to do a 2-1 buy down. So in essence, what they'll do is, and there's a cost to it, but they're able to give you an adjustable rate mortgage so that your first year rate is 2% less than what the standard rate is at the time based off your credit score. In the second year, it goes up 1%, but you're still 1% less than the rates currently. By year 3, you are up to that, whatever the rates are at that time. However, the goal of lenders with right now is that ideally, when year 3 hits, you still have the equity in the home, rates are less, you can refinance out of that loan into a new loan, get the benefit of those lower rates. And in essence, you get the benefit now, and you get the benefit later. Now, what that means is some sellers, they are helping contribute to the closing costs, concessions, to allow you to buy down that rate. Overall, it kind of depends on the price of the house, how much that cost is. We are seeing that quite a bit right now. So if you'd love to know more details about that, more details about the beaches, Southside area in general, even if it's details about anywhere else in Jacksonville, like the West Side, North Side, downtown, St. Augustine, St. Johns County, Clay County, Nassau County, please, like I said, on the bottom of this video will be a link to my Calendly. Schedule time. Would love to chat. I'm a Jacksonville native, born and raised here since 1995. I'm a diehard FSU fan, diehard Jags fan. So it's one of those things that even if you just want to talk to me about sports in general, I'm a big sports nerd. Definitely reach out. I'm always here to kind of go over all those things. And our team here at Real Keeper Home Team, we try to treat you as if you're friends or family, and we want to make sure that you know that we're not happy till you're happy. So until next time, again, my name's Justin, and we'll talk more soon.